This dress is actually the dress that I was wearing when I found out that I won RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 9. So this dress has some really special sentimental value, okay? This is probably the dress I'm gonna have on when I die. Hey y'all, it's Angeria Paris Van Micheals from season 14 and the winner of All Stars 9. And we are here at my beautiful Los Angeles home, honey, and I'm about to show you my drag closet. So come on in, girl, come on. I moved to Los Angeles because I really wanted to be closer to the opportunities. Like, every time I would see all the Ru girls on like movies and shows and stuff, I'd be like, it looks like a lot of them live in California. So it was like a light bulb just went off in my head and I was like, I'm moving to LA. Back home in Atlanta, it's nothing but trees and, you know, residential neighborhoods. I don't want tall buildings and high rises. I need like some peace and calm in my life. You know, like my life is already busy and fast as it is ever since Drag Race. So now I need like some calmness. Once I started visiting other parts of LA instead of like West Hollywood, of course, I was like, I like this. It was my goal to have a drag room. I literally got this place so that I could have a drag room. I moved from a 1-bedroom to a 3, just so that I could have an extra room for my drag, because I literally loathe nothing more than having my drag in the same space as me. I've lived in apartments where I didn't have a space for my drag and my wigs literally had to sit on the kitchen counter. So that's not what we doing here. I need somewhere for Angeria to live. Angeria needs her own space. Tommy needs his own space. This is my Call Me Angie talent show look from season 14. This is from my premiere. I also won. Oh my God, that was such a nerve-wracking day. Got a little keyhole moment right here to show off your breastises and stuff. I had on this really like nice chunky necklace and I was like, I got all the jewels all on my neck. Yeah, it was cute. This is actually the only look that I have from season 14 in my closet, because all of my season 14 looks are back at home in Sparta, Georgia with my parents, because I have a way too much drag between 2 seasons of Drag Race and everything that I have done in between. I just got a lot of drag and it can't all fit in here. I consider my drag more pageant and glamorous than I do fashion forward. When I think of like my sense of style and my aesthetic, it all comes from like drag pageantry, and I love gowns and big hair. So that aesthetic is very, very important to me. The word old school is often like thrown around. I think people would consider me to be a polished queen. They know that I do love big drag. I think they know that I'm not the girl that's gonna come out in the corsets and not have on, you know, pads or breasts or whatever, which, not to knock nobody, but I'm gonna have on my pads, because I feel like when I don't have on my pads, I feel like I look like a broomstick. This is like probably one of the best things I personally feel that I have worn in my life. Like, this is so sickening, and I felt sickening in it. I felt like a goddess. When I got her made, I literally told my designer that I wanted a big silhouette, and he sent me one sketch and I said, no, we need it bigger. So yeah, she's a big girl, honey. She's a big girl. The essence of Angeria is just, you know, that good old gown silhouette and that pageant look that's just me. That's just what I like. I saw it years ago in Atlanta. I went to my first show in Atlanta, and all of the entertainers were doing like gown numbers and ballad performances, and they all had on these beautiful gowns and sickening updos and big giant earrings and chokers, and I was just like the whole time I was just like, oh, like I was just having like a full experience, like watching them. And I was like, if I honestly start doing this for real, this is the type of drag that I want to do. This is the outfit that I made for the music design challenge that we were doing. We had to make outfits that were inspired by RuPaul's songs, and the song that I got was Cake and Candy. This outfit is actually the last of like 3 or 4 outfits that I made in one time span because I was so indecisive. I did not know what I was gonna wear that day. I made one outfit, and then I made another outfit, and then I made another outfit, and then I scrapped all 3 of them, and then this is just what I ended up in. It's not exactly what I was going for, but it worked, okay? It got the job done. I taught myself how to sew right before Drag Race while I was auditioning for Drag Race. I knew that I was gonna want to audition for Drag Race that particular year, so about 6 or 8 months prior, I decided to start teaching myself how to sew. My drag mother taught me how to use a sewing machine, and then I started just practicing. One day I wanted someone to make something for me in Atlanta, and they weren't able to do it, so I was like, bitch, you have a sewing machine. Why don't you just get on the sewing machine and do it yourself? So I did. I literally said, I'm gonna try to make a dress. If it goes wrong, I'm gonna call in sick. But if it goes right, I'm gonna start sewing. And it went right, and I started making things. This girl right here is also from All Stars 9, and she was my day to night reveal look. This was something, okay? This dress needed to be, worked on, okay? This was a dress that initially I came to Drag Race, and it was completely unfinished, and I had to work my ass off to make sure that she looked the way she did. And, by the grace of God, we had a good day that day on the runway. RuPaul absolutely loved it. RuPaul loved this dress. So I don't care what nobody else had to say. I don't care what nobody else had to say. RuPaul loved this dress, okay? She said that it reminded her of an Oscar de la Renta, okay? She loved this dress. Check. Sure did. Some people say, I don't like this dress. I don't like it. I was like, girl, I don't care what you like. You're not the one wearing it. Another one of my favorite things that I have ever worn in my entire drag career is this beautiful Dragon Lady dress, okay? These gorgeous scale pieces were all made out of interfacing, and it's all stoned in beautiful reds, orange, yellows. The shell of the dress is by my best friend, Anthony Weaver, and the airbrushing is all done by Troy C. Forward, who lives here in LA, and they both did an absolutely incredible job of bringing this to life. I knew once I heard the theme, tail and 2 titties, I was like, I wanna be a dragon. My go-to designers are my best friend Anthony Weaver, Jeffrey Kelly, Howie B, V.S. Sparks, and Diamond. Those are literally my saving graces. I would not have clothes on my body without them because I don't feel like sewing them myself. Okay, so next I am going to be showing you my gorgeous All Stars finale dress, which I loved so much because my best friend Anthony made it right here in my home, in my living room. I felt like a complete bird of paradise in this dress. This dress has like 1,000,000 feathers on it, and it is very, very bottom heavy, okay? Like me. A lot of things that like the judges would tell me on season 14, maybe it didn't register at the time of filming, but by the time I actually watched it, like a year later or whatever, and could be like, oh, I see what you did there. I see what you're talking about. I know what you want me to do. So by the time I went back to All Stars 9 and I had watched myself, I was like, okay, I know what to do. I think I've elevated my look a lot from season 14 because, yeah, like I said, there's just some things I'm like, ugh. But All Stars 9 was a different story. I wore a lot of things on All Stars 9 that I was very proud of. I loved my dragon look for Tail and Two Titties. I loved my widow look. I loved my pearls look, and I loved my finale look. Out of my entire package, those were my favorites. And I still think about those and look at videos and pictures now, and I'm like, yep, pat yourself on the back like I did that. So this is my widow runway from All Stars 9. This corset goes all the way from my neck, all the way down past my ass, all the way down to like the back of my kneecaps, okay? Like this is a full situation. I knew everyone for the runway was gonna take like ex-wife, I just killed my husband, I'm out spending my money. And I'm like, I want to feel like I killed my husband, but I killed him in like a different way. I won the challenge this week too, by the way. This gorgeous lady right here is my pearls runway, and I don't have my big white ostrich feather coat. Sad face. I actually sold my ostrich feather coat. Honey, she went to a good home, don't worry. But I did keep the dress because the dress is absolutely gorgeous. It has these beautiful ostrich feather shoulders. It has pearls all the way from the top of my neck all the way down to the bottom of my feet. Honey, you asked for pearls, and I wanted to make sure that I gave you pearls, honey. Catch that back. Catch that back. I'm telling you, if I could wear ostrich feathers every day of my life, I would. But them hoes is expensive. I overthought Drag Race so much before I got there. And then after the first episode, the moment it kicked into me that RuPaul liked me and that the judges liked what I was doing and I didn't have to do anything but be myself, I was like, okay, this is gonna be easy. After the improv challenge and, you know, I was like, you ugly bitch and all that, and they loved it. And that was honestly just me relaxing and just being myself. And, you know, I realized that RuPaul and the judges love the way that I say things and the way that I say words. Once I found out that I could use my countryness and all that as a strength, it was like smooth sailing. And it was like, honey, all you gotta do is be yourself. Oh my God, that's it? All I gotta do is be myself? Oh, we gonna be all right. We gonna be good. I used to do this thing on season 14 where I would get really nervous before every single thing I did, and then RuPaul told me that I was getting off on it. And I was like, you know what? You might be right. You might be right. So when I came back on All Stars 9, I literally was just letting it all hang out. Drag Race taught me that I knew how to act, that I knew how to sing, that I knew how to sew, that I knew how to improv, that I could dance a little bit. Like, I learned so much, and really the biggest thing is just that all I had to do was do it. This is my ruffle, my gorgeous ruffle from my Park and Bark performance from All Stars 9, my finale talent show. This is the boa that I wore, my beautiful ruffle boa. It is the perfect accessory. You don't even have to have on clothes. If you running late, honey, you just go out there with your panty on and throw this boa around you, girl, and you got on a whole outfit. She is gorgeous. She is the moment, okay? And on the runway that particular day, I did not feel like a ugly bitch, okay? So this girl here is my Pass the Crown look from All Stars 10, where I was crowning the next winner of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, and I love this dress so much. The black and white color pattern, the full appliques on the top, like the way that it was fitting me up top, like the sharp edges of this breast part. Like, I love this dress. When I think about the future, I see me in major motion pictures, okay? I see me in movies, I see me hosting. I just recently did my first one-woman show, and I know that in years' time, I'm going to be doing one-woman shows all over the country, and I might even have my own talk show somewhere. I just want everybody to have more Angeria in their life. It's my goal. God blessed me with these gifts, and I feel like I have to give them to the world. I have to keep supplying everybody with more Angie. My future is bright, I'm telling you, I know it. Okay, y'all, so it's been so much fun, honey. I have welcomed you into my drag closet. I hope you liked it. I hope you loved it. But now it is time for you to go and get the hell out of my house. So, bye. I got stuff to do. Really, leave, please. Leave now.